Shalom, or I don't even like to say that. That's the synagogue of Satan. You know what I mean? Um, Peace and blessings to all family scattered across the four corners. Um, Excuse the lighting, but don't really gotta pay attention to me, just what I say. I just want to give a couple messages through scriptures, and after I'm done with the scriptures, I'll go my personal logic and stuff like that concerning the state of the world that we're in and what the set apart or even someone who is seeking to be set apart could go through, and what the set apart is definitely going to go through, and is looking real grim out there for the wicked. Anyway, I want to start off by reading the Wisdom of Solomon. But before I read that, I want to read you some little history, because some people, they feel like these books, the quote unquote from the Apocrypha, the banned books of the Bible, is not real. And I just want to show that if you believe that, I mean, I can understand with certain books, but like the book of Jasher's referenced. But hold on. I just want to say that if you believe that, you kind of siding with the Catholics and the Pope and the Christians, because they're the ones that removed it. They always get their hands on stuff and they change it and they ship it out to the rest of the world. And they never make the stuff. They get their hands from other nations. But look, start off with a scripture, then I'm gonna start off with history. So the scripture is Second Esdras, or for Ezra, chapter 14, verses 44 through 48. In 40 days they wrote the 204 books, and it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that El Elyon spoke, saying, just give me a moment, I'll translate that too. El Elyon, what that's supposed to mean. Because I don't know everything. That might not even be the real language, but this is Sefer. El Elyon would be... Man. I see Elohim. Oh, it means the Most High Yah. G-O-D. So, let me reread that for you. Give me a moment. In 40 days, they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were filled, that the Most High Yah spoke, saying, the first that you have written, publish openly, so that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that you may deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is a spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so. This is about Ezra. I'm reading Ezra right now too. First Ezra, and I'm gonna read Second Ezra, because I see some crazy scriptures in Second Ezra. This is from Second Ezra too. But the Most High himself saying, Ezra is a prophet. Just to give you some history, when they took to Babylon, and then Ezra basically said something full of wisdom, and he pleased that king, and they sent them back to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, Yasharah, and there was like another nation among the land, the Phoenicians. They didn't want them to rebuild that up, and they would fight with them and stuff. And Ezra sent away all the mixed people. I can't say that. But all the heathen wives that the Israelites had from Babylonian time, he sent them away. I believe the children he sent away too. And that's what really interests me to read that, because I'm mixed myself. But notice, it says, okay, I'm going to start from verse 45. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were filled, that the Most High Yah spoke, saying, that the first that you have written, publish openly, so that the worthy and the unworthy may read it. So that's probably the Torah, right? The Old Testament. And then the banned books of the Bible, the Most High put the strings in the world. Not everybody can access that. Now, because of Daniel, not because of Daniel, but in the book of Daniel, in the end days, the books will be opened up, that were hidden. But that's Daniel, did his book. This Ezra in his book. So, who knows? Maybe it's Ezra's. Okay, now I'm going to read the little paragraph that's under it. Gradually, the term Apocrypha, books reserved only to the wise among the people, took on a pejorative connotation, as the orthodoxy of these hidden books was sometimes questioned. Origen distinguished, or Oregon, whatever his name is, distinguished between the books that were to be read, or Oregon is like a association, that were to be read in public worship, and apocryphal books. So back in the days, so this Oregon, whatever society, distinguished certain books that could be read in the church and not read in the church. Right? And who goes to church, right? You get no wisdom there. Church makes people into atheists because religion makes no sense. We're not in no religion. It's reality, But because these secret books were often preserved for use within the historic circles of the elite believers, many of the unenlightened church fathers found themselves outside the realm of understanding, and therefore came to the term apocryphal to what they claimed to be heretical works, and therefore forbidden to be read. So this is the first paragraph. They got a whole thing talking about it. The top right here is just the Ezra scripture. This is the first paragraph. They talking about it, and it's talking about Enoch, how it's preserved by the Ethiopic church. Man, it got knowledge in here. But anyway, that's just like the term conspiracy theorists. They make up that term because they can't understand you. Basically, right? That's not why they made the terms. The CIA made the term to discredit certain hippie protesters. But yeah, they make that term. He didn't understand it. He couldn't get access to the book. So instead of trying to understand it or seeking wisdom, he just fought it. He just ran away, abandoned it. Oh, it's just apocrypha. It's easy to just label something and call something instead of doing research, But because the Most High would have opened up that books for them pastors if they really wanted to do a good thing, righteous thing upon the earth. So now we got that out the way. That's just to soften you guys up, because some of you guys feel like the Wisdom of Solomon is not a real book. Some of you guys feel like Enoch or Jasher. You just want to stick to the Bible. What's that? Oh, the New Testament, right? If anything, that's the one you should be watching out for. They straight up copy from the old. But anyway, I'm going to turn to the Wisdom of Solomon. I lost the bookmark, but I remember the page number. 1144 or 45. Man, it's talking about like people want to talk about gang stalking. It's really just demonic possession, demons jumping into people because of the wickedness. It's not like a government program. If it is, you probably make a water power car or something, But other than that, don't be believing them crazies. When talk about, oh, look at these people in public again. It's demons. You should watch the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But I want to read one of my favorite things from here, but I'm not going to read whole chapters. I'm going to read chapter 4 and a little bit of chapter 5. So if you want to hear the wisdom of Solomon, stick around. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue, for the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with Elohim and with men. When it is present, men take example at it. When it is gone, They desire it. It wears a crown and triumphs forever. Having gotten the victory, striving for undefiled rewards. Wow, they said like Solomon, he was seeking after the heavenly things. He wasn't seeking after the earthly things. That's why they gave him wisdom. I think I heard a video of someone say that, but obviously he turned earthly. But he's talking about right here, when it's present, men take notice of it. And when it's gone, they just want it. Talking about, is he saying it's immortal? Virtue, it triumphs forever, having gotten the victory, striving for undefiled rewards. Like the New Testament say, his story treasures up in heaven, right? So, but the multiplying brood of the wicked shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard lips, nor lay any fast foundation. For though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing will not last. They shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of winds they shall be rooted out. The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing. The children begotten of Torahless beds, instructionless beds, are witnesses of the wickedness against their parents and their child. But though the righteous be prevented with death, yet he shall yet shall he be in rest. For honorable age is not that which stands in length of time, nor measured by the number of years, but wisdom is a gray hair unto men, and unspotted life is the old age. Wow, I just learned something. So in Proverbs it talks about how the gray hairs of an old man is just like his crown, is his reward or something like that. He could show it off as good. It's true, he lived long, he survived, he had enough wisdom not to die young, or prematurely. Because, they used to live longer than us. But like Yada for real said, even the dudes live 500 years in a fraction. Or I think that's Raptor New Sun. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, my brothers, but let me read that again. Talking about, it basically said like wisdom is like a gray hair unto your man. Like age is not your years. This the Bible, the Most High say it. This stuff I've been saying my whole life. It's just like I kind of know I was called for this truth. I was made for this truth because I kind of know certain things. Granted, I've been reading the Bible like since I was 4, not really heavily, but I've probably read Genesis over 10 times. Who knows, right? Just the first chapters. But the Bible itself, I probably read it like twice. Not really the New Testament. Revelations I read. I just know certain scriptures, but excuse me, let me continue. For honorable age is not that which stands in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years, but wisdom is a gray hair unto men, and unspotted life is old age. I got spots in my life, but I'm gonna try to stay. Not going. He pleased Elohim and was beloved of him, so that, living among sinners, he was translated. Yea, speedily he was taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. That just reminds me of Noah, how he was taken away from the wicked in the ark. Or, in the days of Noah, you read in Jubilees. I might be in Jasher, but Jasher's more focused on Israel. Jubilees, it talks. Jubilees more focused like from Adam, basically all generations of man. But Adam's seed, it does talk about the wicked Cain's seed, how they multiply, and that's why they got more kids on the earth and stuff, because they just lustful and sex. And you see, Adam took him like 200 years to have Seth. He knows he just had sex and brought Cain into the world. He probably got traumatized from having a baby. You feel me? Because it was wicked. Anyway, before the flood came, not even that. Before the giants was on the earth, there was a lot of righteous men. You know, Enoch had turned men righteous, and there was just men righteous just because early days, and sons of Seth, and the Most High was killing them. He was taking them away peacefully. Like, they will die at 200 years old, 400, 800. All these great men in the earth, righteous men, was dying off. And then once they died off, the Nephilim came and stuff, and then the flood and all that. Noah was the only one allowed to live, but there was still righteous people. The Most High just took them out early because the earth was finna get that bad. And this was reminding me of that. Yea, speedily he was taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. He was translated, it said. I didn't read that, but continue. For the bewitching of wickedness obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of lustful desire undermines the simple mind. He being made perfect in a short time fulfilled a long time, for his soul pleased Yahuwah. Therefore he hastened to take him away from among the wicked. Yahuwah hastened to take him away from among the wicked. See, that's how you want Yahuwah to hasten to take you away from the wicked. See, this is how we need to be. We need to be loving the Creator. And we need to stop focusing on ourselves in the way that, preparing. I mean, I'm not saying don't prepare your stuff, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. Stop being full of ourselves. Like, our eyes gotta be on the prize. We got our eyes on petty things. Burning in hell, all this stuff is gonna seem petty. To just, I should have just did this, Alright, let's continue. This the people saw and understood it not. Neither did. Okay, let me reread that. This the people saw and understood it not. Neither laid up this in their minds. They stupid. That his grace and mercy is with Kodashim. What's that word? Give me a moment. You gotta translate this for Kodashim. It's like, it starts with a Q. Kodeshim. Kodesh is like the spirit, is it not? So, with the spirits, what kind of spirits though? With the hosts, I don't know what it's trying to say. Kodesh, holiness to the Lord. Kodeshul Lahua. I don't know if I should even speak in all this language, because this might not even be the right language, right? It's Phoenician. I'm gonna just stop because I'm gonna read it. I do gotta break it down though to my ability. Okay, I'm gonna restart from 15. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his Kodeshim. I think it's his saints. And he, or set apart, and he has respect unto his chosen. Wow. So it says the Most High is not respect of persons. And then it says this one right here, he has respect unto his chosen. So one thing that comes with wisdom is you realize how little you really know. I'm going to need some Levites in my future, hopefully, to come and sit down with me and read these scriptures. Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the wicked which are living, and youth that is soon perfected the many years and old age of the unrighteous. Wow, so a righteous youth can perfect themselves way better than, man, the wicked, I'm not going to say much about them because you know how they are. They're a different breed of humans. They shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand what Elohim and his council has decreed of him, and to what end Yahuwah has set him in safety. You know, it says they shall be amazed at the strangeness of your salvation. Read this. They shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand what Elohim and his council has decreed of him, and to what end Yahuwah has set him in safety. They shall see him and despise him, but Elohim shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass, and reproach among the dead forevermore. For he shall render them and cast them down headlong, that they shall be speechless, and he shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste, and in sorrow, and their memorial shall perish. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquity shall convince them to their face. This one Muslim dude told me that supposedly when the judgment going on and the Most High condemning the wicked, they're going to be saying like all praises because the judgment is righteous. It's I forgot the word. Righteous, it's right. It's correct. That's crazy, huh? Okay, this is my favorite part, chapter 5. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. It says Yeshua, but it has a footnote, and it says salvation. So that's just a word. It ain't capitalized. Okay, let me read. When they see it, they shall be troubled with fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond what they looked for. So what the wicked looking for salvation? Bunkers? Didn't the Most High say hell is coming up to meet you? From there, it will come up from the ground and get you? A terrible life. What you gonna do after the bunker's food run out? Live a bad life? Your bones gonna ache? You gonna die at 40? If you 40, good luck out there in the waste, right? But that's not gonna be it. That's their fantasy. That's gonna be a cakewalk for them. But the Most High, He's gonna have something worse than that for them. And our salvation is gonna be so far beyond their dreams, what they expect. They could dream about being saved. It ain't nothing compared to what the Most High gonna do. So far beyond all that they looked for. We're just going to be seeing the wicked get smaller and smaller. Laughing. The Most High going to be laughing too. He laughed. And he brings their most terrible fear upon them. It's many scriptures about that. How the Most High, he brings the fear of the wicked upon them. He destroy them in that way. And they repenting and groaning for anguish and of spirit wind resemble. Man, it keeps saying like the spirit is wind, right? That's just a translation because this is English. That's a whole nother language. But they're going to be groaning at their spirit. These atheists and these weird people in the world believe ain't no such thing as a soul, a spirit. They just die, right? The Most High going to show it to them. He going to make them hurt. And they're going to be able to take back what they said because they just were such idiots to us, aren't they? And they don't want to follow the commandments. That's the real thing. Shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools account to his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Elohim, and his lot is among the saints, or set apart. That's what they're going to say about the righteous. I'm going to reread that for you. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of the spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools account to his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Elohim, and his lot among the saints, or set apart? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shined unto us, and the brilliance of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts, which there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahuwah, we have not known it. What has pride profited us? Or what good has our riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasted by. Wow. I don't know what it means, like a post that hasted by. I just picture like you're in a carriage on a horse, like a wooden post on the ground. You like go by it quick. Or like a sign on the freeway, you go by it quick. That's their riches and shit. Most High, man. Most High playing the chessboard, and they didn't even know they playing Uno. They don't even know what they're doing. Why would they fight against the Creator? I don't want to say they were even deceived into thinking it. It's like you got a choice, but I don't know. Like I said, they're a whole different breed of human, right? You can't even lead them to water. You can't even take care of them because, man, what has pride profited us, or I mean, I already read that scripture. Maybe I'm stuttering because I wasn't meant to read it again. And as a ship that passes over the waves of water, which when it was gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in its waves. So when the ship going through the water and it leaves like a little traceway and is gone, that's their riches. Or as when a bird has flown through the air, there is no sign of her way to be found, but the light of air being beaten with the stroke of her wings and parted with the violent noise and motion of them is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found. Or like when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parts the air, which immediately comes together again, so that man cannot know where it went through. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness. So we in the same boat as them. As soon as they're born, they already drawn to their end. The Most High told Adam, you're not going to live a day if you eat that apple. 1,000 years is a day to the Most High. And Adam lived like 900 something. So Adam could have lived for days, years, forever, But he was drawn to his death soon, like to the most. He just had a day to the Most High. He was drawn to his death too. So these people live before us. They live 80 years on Earth. They draw to their death quick. We even got that much. The Earth gonna end in our generation, So we're not. It's like there's an end, not the end. I won't say, but there will be an end. And some of our folks might be. I know some Hebrew brothers waking like 13 years old. They might got 20 years or less on this earth. We drawn to our end quick, but like I said, the righteous live a young life. I'm not saying they die young. I'm just saying within their youth they attain virtue and wisdom, and it's not about age. It's about the wisdom and the heritage. So wisdom is not about age. Sure, you need time, but we should be striving, swimming. You should be full brakes. You should not be stopping, You should be going all out at this time. And I could be a hypocrite saying that, but I never give up and always fight myself. And it's a daily struggle. I don't sin every day. I got my good days. I last my time. But this is where I get my give back, where I help other people. And I go online and put scriptures and different things. It helps. Um, Man, I'm gonna read the whole chapter for y'all. It's just 5. I'm not gonna read to 6. I'm gonna read a little bit of something else, just something interesting in the book of Jasher, and then after that, I'm gonna give you guys advice. Um, with these Nephilim people. You know what I mean? They got their DNA changed and stuff like that. The zombies. Yeah, and it's like Nephilim. They consume all the acquisition of man. After that, they started consuming man. Obviously, they couldn't consume every man. After that, they started consuming each other. So that's where I think them zombies come from. They're eating each other. That's that zombie DNA. Anyway, for the hope of the wicked is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like the smoke which is dispersed here and with a tempest, and passes away as a remembrance of a guest that tarries but a day. But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward is also with Yahuwah. How strong is that? If your reward with Yahuwah, that's the strongest reward, is it not? And the care of them is with El Elyon. Therefore, they shall receive a glorious kingdom and the beautiful crown from Yahuwah's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm he shall protect them. He shall take to him his jealousy for his complete armor. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. So the Most High is not a creature. He is not a creation. Creature is creation. Thou art my battle axe. Some people say that scripture was back in the day. It could be. The creature could be the Leviathan. It could be anything that's created. Obviously not a Nephilim DNA split. They ain't going to be the things, right? They ain't part of his. Give me a moment. And the Most High got enemies for the revenge of his enemies. Who want to be his enemy, huh? I guess they do want the smoke from him, but they stupid. He shall put on the righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of a helmet. He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. His severe wrath he shall sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Oh, wow. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad from the clouds, from a well-drawn bow, and they shall fly to the mark. This sounds like some Dragon Ball Z stuff, man. They talk about the right throwing thunderbolts and flying around and stuff. I'm going to reread it again for y'all. Man. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, from a well-drawn bow. From the clouds as from a well-drawn bow. So they're going to be in the clouds throwing thunderbolts like a well-drawn bow. Sound pretty accurate to me, like literally, like they're going to hit accurate. Shall they fly to the mark? Oh, yeah. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. Yea, A mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. Yeah, they deal with everybody ill, even the weak, wicked men deal with people illy, treacherously, grimy. Even the mighty, the kings deal with grimy among each other too, I suppose, right? The Most High just told us one of the many ways he about to kill these wicked. So, I want to go back to the book of Jasher. You know, the Pharaoh used to be real bad to the Israelites, even after the 400 years was up. And Moses kept telling them to leave. You know, he died very horribly. Very horribly. And his son reigned in his stead. And his son was wicked too, but in the book of Joshua tells you, they end up getting destroyed. But the Pharaoh, he gets saved. And the son was wise. He was ugly. He was on like 1 cubit height. He was wise. And he ended up running away and becoming the king of some other country. But he was an Egyptian of this certain Pharaoh I'm going to read you about. Oh man. Just give me a moment. Okay, this is talking about Joshua, because I recently finished Joshua. Okay, yep, they took the coffin of Joseph. Oh man, it talks about the gruesome things they did. Like, it's talking about Adakim. That's the king I was talking about, who was Okay, yeah, this is what happened to him. Adakim's father, which is the one who's evil. Now the king was evil too, but he learned about Yahuwah. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna read you Jasher chapter 76, verse 24. And I don't know when I'm gonna stop, but it's only gonna be like a page or two. And the children of Yasharal were yet in the land of Mitzrayim, which is Egypt, serving the Misraim in all manner of hard work. And the hand of the Misraim continued in severity over the children of Yasharal in those days. And at that time Yahuwah smote Pharaoh, king of Misraim, and he inflicted him with a plague of leprosy from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head, owing to the cruel treatment of the children of Yasharal. Was this plague at that time from Yahuwah upon Pharaoh, king of Misraim? For Yahuwah had hearkened to the prayer of his people. The children of Yasharal and their cry reached him on account of their hard work. Still, his anger did not turn from them, and the hand of Pharaoh was stretched out against the children of Yasharal, and Pharaoh hardened his neck before Yahuwah. He hardened his neck. He was stiff-necked for Yahuwah. And he increased his yoke over the children of Yasharal, and embittered their lives with all manner of hard work. And when Yahuwah had inflicted the plague upon Pharaoh, king of Misraim, he asked his wise men and sorcerers to cure him. And his wise men and sorcerers... I just need to do this from my back. Not that I have a bad back, but just gotta take care. His wise men and sorcerers said unto him, that if the blood of little children were put into the wounds, he would be healed. Don't that sound like some elite adrenochrome stuff? The Red Cross always asks for blood. Yet every year, for every disaster they do, but for every year, high schools, thousands of high schools across the United States, not tens of thousands, maybe even more, they take blood. Don't you got blood stored up? They vampires, I'm telling you. But this is another thing they do. They do many things with blood. Rituals, magic, food, whatever. And Pharaoh hearkened to them. And he sent his ministers to Goshen, to the children of Yasharal, to take their little children. And Pharaoh's ministers went and took the infants of the children of Yasharal from the bosoms of their mothers by force, and they brought them to Pharaoh daily, a child each day. And the physicians killed them and applied them to the plague, and thus they did all the days. And the number of the children which Pharaoh slew was 375. They said they did it all the days, so I guess he lived 375 days till that from there. But Yahuwah hearkened not to the physicians of the king of Misraim, and the plague went on increasing mightily. And Pharaoh was 10 years afflicted with that plague. Still the heart of Pharaoh was more hardened against the children of Yasharal. And at the end of 10 years, this is before Moses, went up to Pharaoh, whatever, Adakim. This is before that. This is the Pharaoh before that. Moses was actually a king in another land. Just read the book of Joshua. It sounds crazy, but they sent him away. He killed the Egyptian and ran away. And then how he went to some shepherd and he gave him his daughters and stuff. And it kind of was like he didn't want to let Moses go. Like he had to ask him. They really imprisoned Moses because he was a king and they tried to ransom him. But y'all got to read the book of Joshua. I'm telling you, it's real good. And it's referenced in the Old Testament. I forgot which book. Let me continue. Because it gets real bad, like, I'm telling you. And at the end of 10 years, Yahuwah continued to afflict Pharaoh with the destructive plagues. And Yahuwah smote him with a bad tumor and sickness at the stomach, and a plague that turned to a severe boil. At that time, 2 ministers of Pharaoh came from the land of Goshen, where all the children of Yasharal were, and went to the house of Pharaoh and said to him, "We have seen the children of Yasharal slacken in their work and negligent in their labor." And when Pharaoh heard the words of his ministers, his anger was kindled against the children of Yasharal exceedingly, for he was greatly grieved at his bodily pain. He was butthurt, that I guess. And he answered and said, "Now that the children of Yasharal shall know that I am ill, they turn and scoff at us. Now therefore, harness my chariot for me, and I will betake myself to Goshen, and will see the scoff of the children of Yasharal with which they are deriding me." So his servants harnessed his chariot for him. Okay. And they took and made him a ride upon a horse, for he was not able to ride of himself. And he took with him 10 horsemen and 10 footmen, and went to the children of Yasharal to Goshen. And when they had come to the border of Misraim, the king's horses, blood circulation. Oh yeah. And when they had come to the border of Misraim, the king's horses passed into a narrow place, elevated in the hollow part of the vineyard, fenced on both sides, the low, plain country being on the other side. And the horses ran rapidly in that place, and pressed each other, and the other horses pressed the king's horse. And the king's horse fell into the low plain while the king was riding upon it, and he fell, and the chariot turned over the king's face. And the horse laid upon the king, and the king cried out, for his flesh was very sore. I just picture him. And the flesh of the king was torn from him, and his bones were broken, and he could not ride. For this thing was from Yahuwah to him, for Yahuwah had heard the cries of his people, and the children of Yasharal in their affliction. I had to put that passion in there, like Deshaun Whitehead. He be putting the passion in his scriptures. And his servants carried him upon their horses, a little at a time, and they brought him back into Mizraim. And the horsemen who were with him came also back into Mizraim, and they placed him in his bed. And the king knew that his end was come to die. And so Aparanith, the queen, his women, came and cried before the king. And the king wept a great weeping with her. And all his nobles and servants came on that day. This ain't even the worst part. And saw the king in that affliction, and wept a great weeping with him. And the princess and the princes of the king. Okay, so I'm gonna skip through this part because it's not really. You guys can read it on your own. I really want to just show you certain parts and get to the end because I'm not trying to drag this out. And I know this is too late in the video. I'm probably putting in the description, but this is not the type of video you look at. This is the type you put on, you work out, or it's like a podcast basically. You clean your room or whatever, right? Drive. Okay. And the disorder greatly prevailed over the king, and his flesh stank like the flesh of a carcass cast upon a field in the summertime during the heat of the sun. And when the king saw that his sickness had greatly strengthened himself over him, he ordained his son Adakim to be brought to him, and they made him king over the land in his place. And at the end of 3 years, the king died in shame, disgrace, and disgust. And his servants carried him and buried him in the sepulchre of kings in the Mizraim, and so on, Mizraim. But they embalmed him not, as was usual with kings, for his flesh was putrid, and they could not approach to embalm him on account of the stench. So they buried him in haste. For this evil was from Yahuwah to him, for Yahuwah had requited him from the evil in which his days he had done to Yasharal. And he died in terror, and in shame, and with shame, and his son Adakim reigned in his place. So, see what happens to the king, right? Alright. Here comes the advice. So this is a book, leather-bound book. I tried to write all the commandments in there. Only got to like 300 laws. 600 something laws, right? Nah, it's not. That's a synagogue of Satan and fake, people over there. Because I don't want to say too much because they really, I guess that's the real truth because they really monetize you or whatever. But yeah, they lie and say it's 613 commandments. It's really not. If you go and read, because I was copying from a website, and you really read, they just make loopholes, like certain things to allow them to sin and stuff. It's like, oh, you can loan your brother this and charge them interest. Like, it's all kind of loopholes and stuff, man. So it's not 613. It's actually less than that. Don't get me wrong. It's like probably 400, maybe even 500 range, but it's not 613. So I'm actually going to have to get a whole new book. This is for the end times. You can't carry around a Bible with you. You need something lightweight. I just want a Torah only book. Could not find it. I'm up to write it for myself. It's gonna help me with the law, anyway. But in this book, instead I write people who got the Jim Jones. You know that they got the Jim Jones, and I count how much doses, symptoms. I write songs to the Most High. I only wrote one, cause yeah, that song got a good story behind it though. Okay, V shedding, shedding, you know what that shedding means, right? So, and I updated it. So I'm gonna read you some reports I wrote. MGP report 2021 shedding. MGP stands for mRNA genetic product. Those injected with the MGP shed spike proteins. Pioneer of mRNA technology, Luigi Warren stated, I believe that the shedding idea is that don't want to say that word because I wanted to reach people this video, shed spike protein and not virus. And it is certainly true that people with mRNA do shed spike protein, but in minuscule amounts that almost certainly don't cause disease, malice, and others. This is me coming in. Shedding can occur in dust. Dust is composed of dirt, skin cells, hair, and clothing fiber. It is not advised to eat from the same dishes, and it is advised to use separate dishwashing material / equipment. And I started doing that since that time. Report update, and then I actually have March 26, 2022, the real date, not just the year. From being in a close proximity to the, what should I call them? Nephilim? Nah, they ain't exactly Nephilim. Sellouts? The wicked. It could be some, okay, the tainted. Let's call them the tainted. From being in a close proximity to the tainted in a closed, non-ventilated environment, such as a car, the shedding can affect me, namely in a vehicle or small room with the windows up. Air conditioning helps, but the windows down is better. The effects: itchy sensation of something being caught in the back of my throat, which can lead to coughing, my nose being clogged, blowing out dried blood from my nostrils, sneezing, rarely mucus, but only minor. Perhaps it's my body putting up defense mechanisms. The tainted seem to prefer heat, stuffy air. Now, all these things don't happen to me anymore, but some of these things still do if I'm around these people. Okay, I have in here written the covenants of the Old Testament, the Noahic covenant, which is a covenant Most High made to Noah, Abraham, Moses, David. Okay. Who took the MGP? See, I had to update my list. And yeah, so some final advice. Don't tell these people everything. Do not give your pearls to swine. You know, I tried to flee one time in 2020 when this stuff started coming out. It failed. I met some people. I met them recently again, or talked to them online. It was just things weren't adding up and it was sketchy, and my gut feeling was telling me not to go. They had land in New Mexico, lots of land, buying land. You could build your own house on there. There's other brothers I talked to on Instagram who are actually going, and I don't know, something didn't sit right with me. Yeah, they want to serve the Most High only, and just do His commandments. Only the Most High, no other false deities. They even come pick us up, all their stuff, even our car with a flatbed. Everything seemed like it came from the Most High, but I don't know, man. I'm not gonna get too into detail, but something about it was not singing right to me. So we gotta be careful. The Most High will provide a way for the righteous. Even if there's 10 righteous people in the city, He gonna save the city. But if there's just one, He gonna at least try to reach out to him. He tried to reach out to Lot, and Lot did listen, so it worked. But if Lot didn't listen, the Most High still, I believe, would have reached out to him. He was righteous, so it's our duty to be righteous. I see a lot of talk online on how we need to start mobilizing and coming together because the people who are changed, they're starting to mobilize and come together. They're not as deep thought as we are. But by the time we get ready, it's gonna be too late. I don't know. As our end, like the Bible said, our end is gonna be seen quick without honor. Is the Most High gonna take us in a storm and we look like it's a natural disaster? Or are they gonna be permitted to kill us upon the earth? It's gonna get to that point. This is a channel called New Breed. Some of you brothers might watch him. He says that in the future, Satanism is going to be popular here in America, United States, around the world even. And many people are going to renounce their faith and be scared to rock for the Most High. But we got to be like Daniel and his two homies when they had that golden statue and they didn't bow down to it. And everybody bowed. They said, you don't bow down, we're going to kill you. And they used to see him killing people in that place. And they still didn't bow down. They don't want to make martyrs, you know. But I'm ready for it. But the Most High probably got something else in store for them. We do get saved, right? It won't matter though. Because any of us who've been firm in this truth, it gets to a point where you even care. You're not scared of dying. You probably are if you wicked and you got to work on yourself, but really, like, you're not scared of death. Now, if someone puts a gun in your head and it comes to that, yeah, your heart rate gonna raise up. You might be scared, but you ain't terrified. Certain things you're not gonna do, I hope. You know, like, oh, do this to live. You know, but I just, oh, final thing. I should have did this in the beginning of the video, but Yada, for real, your video really encouraged me. It was a very like a self-reflective video, has a lot of replay value, and you write like about quitting certain things, and it's easy to quit, you know. It's by the time we're on a good streak and the temptation come, the temptations don't even be that strong. In my personal experience, it's just like your own self you be fighting and stuff. And the temptations, man, like sometimes I go through them, they might last for days and stuff. But I guess you just gotta occupy yourself, right? That's what I've been doing to fight off a lot of things that I do. And I do throw away weed a lot. I'll go and buy some weed, throw it away, smoke it up, whatever. Like, I won't try to preserve it in any kind of way. And it just really burns a hole in your money. But that's how I like to do it, because you might spend like, 20, 25 on weed, right? And you just smoke a little bit and you get that feeling. And you just decide to throw it away, you know? And then later on, you're like, man, that's like a gang of money I'm wasting just for one smoke. But that's how it has to be. You know, you have to take 2 steps forward and 0 steps backwards. I'm not doing that yet, but actually I am. I'm doing, like, right now, my mindset is to never touch that stuff again. And temptation come, I'm fighting it, you know. I'm not gonna like run to evil. We all got our little struggles, but I don't know. I can't say nothing. I gotta improve myself before I can say anything. But hopefully, the Most High can show me mercy. He has shown mercy. There has been time when you said that one time you were smoking and you felt like you was gonna die. That happened to me one time too at my cousin's wedding. I was smoking. You know, I don't really smoke. Like, I don't really buy weed. People who's around me, I did it like that. And that's what happened at that wedding. And they had Hennessy. I drank Hennessy, which I never drank before. And it's like a strong, dark liquor, you know. And to top it off, I had took some shrooms, right? And another thing, I think mushrooms are unclean because they're a fungi, right? It's like sea moss. Sea moss only grows in wet, moist, and damp areas, and dark areas, wet and dark areas, shallow waters. Mushrooms grow in damp, moist, dark areas. Sea moss reproduce through spores or budding. So do mushrooms. So sea moss is like unclean too, you know? And Like they say mushrooms don't got seeds, but like some things say that mushroom is more like an animal than like a plant, you know. It's like more like a fungi. Bacteria is more like an animal than like a plant. It's not even a plant, really. So what the hell is sea moss? Yeah, we gotta prepare to be like a vagabond upon the earth, pilgrims. The Most High gotta light us up, do something for us to link up. But really, right now, I'm feeling like my soul is hurting because I'm not my best potential and righteousness that I could be. The potential is infinite, and I'm not saying I'm trying to be. I'm just saying I could be better right now, and but that's a good thing. You know, at least I have that inside me telling me, you know, instead of these people who I say are like another breed of human, they don't got that inside voice telling them. I seen a psychology video yesterday and it said it was like scary facts. It was like some people they don't hear a voice in their head. They just have feelings and emotions inside of them and that's what they go off of. That sounds real demonic to me. My hair is like playing out cuz you know you wet it. Anyway, I'm not gonna drag on your day. This is an hour-long video. All praises to the most. This is like a live almost. All praises to the Most High. Um, when it comes to fleeing and getting together, man, if I were to flee 2 years ago into the wilderness, society we've still been up. Who knows? I would have been dead. Still would have had time, right? But by the time you realize it's time to go, it's too late. So what do we do? Well, we do need our own land. But every case that happens, there's rules and laws. And, you know, Thaddeus, I talked to his brother, and he said that unless you like bought the land together, or as long as you're living on another man's land, it's not the same. And I don't know if that's true for everybody, you know. Perhaps it can be better, because are we not living on another man's land right now? So maybe it can be better, I don't know, but because this is the worldly way. We have to outshine the world and show the righteous is better than whatever little fancy stuff they can do. But with that said, I'm just gonna end it here. All praises to the Most High. His mercy. All I want to talk about is mercy, because after I took them shrooms, Hennessy, and weed, I was drinking this water, and that's the only water they had available at the party. It's actually in this house. I don't buy this water. My father bought this water. I'm gonna be right back and bring it to you just to show you. I drink spring water. This water, pure life, is pure death. Why? I'm gonna read you. It got spring water got no ingredients. This thing got about like 5 ingredients, and the ingredients is not no healthy stuff. But um, after I drank those things and smoked those things and ate those things, solid liquid in there, huh? And I just felt like I had a fever, like I couldn't breathe. Each step I took was getting weaker, like I was gonna collapse. So I strategically moved my steps to outside because it was hot inside and people partying and whatnot. It's the night before the wedding, and I sit outside this bench. It's outside. It's like an Airbnb. It's a huge property, so they got like nice benches outside. And I still feel hot, and I'm like, I have these 2 little waters. They're like the mini waters too. How dare they supply us with that? Might as well drink the sink water, right? Some mini fucking waters, 1 pack, and now it's pure life. People are just so ignorant. That's the shit you drink? Excuse my language. But I had two of these mini ones, and then I just dropped them out of weakness. I had one, and I was drinking, and then it fell out my hand and rolled away. Some people seen it. They didn't come attend to me and see me. This dude sat on the bench and let go of a water bottle, and the water bottle rolled real far. I never made an effort to get up and get it. I'm breathing heavy, and then my mind, and I've been through this many times, not many times, maybe 2 or 3 times, but not this intense. I probably had like feelings, but not actual like physical. Yeah, I was like, please don't kill me. Am I gonna die like this in this bench? Am I really gonna die like this? And I was thinking like, almost like repenting about things that I did, like having regrets. And I wasn't afraid to die, but I don't want to. It's such a misfortunate thing. In a way, you are afraid, but not like in a scary fear sense. It's more like a dread, like, oh, you're going to go through this. It's really is scary though. You can't say you can't be afraid, because it's another. I could have went to hell, I could have been burning right now. But no, the Most High saved me. He was gracious. His mercy is forever. Well, I don't know if His mercy is forever, if you'll reprobate mine, but His mercy lasts a real long time, and I can personally attest to that. He's very merciful and gracious, so all praises to the Most High. May I look to the east, right? I don't know if we should even be doing that, or if that's actually the east. Could say that the compasses could be wrong. They really reversed it. The history of this world is all messed up. You read about Alexander. Look on Tubi, the free app. They got a show, a docu-series called Ancient Warriors. Vlad Tepes, or Dracula. His father was Dracula, which means dragon. Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, all these great warriors, they're all related. You can search it up. But not only that, they are the men of renown from the Bible. Leonidas from the Spartans, these are the men of renown. The people mixed with giants, the great warriors. So I don't know where I was getting with that, but final thing, I'm gonna read you the ingredients of this water, and it makes sense while I was feeling that way. But the Most High orchestrates things. Certainly, it was the drugs that added to it. It wasn't just the water alone, or else people wouldn't be drinking this. But this thing really is killing you. So the first ingredient is calcium chloride. Calcium chloride. What is that? It's a crystal, white substance soluble in water. Calcium chloride is the chlorine salt of calcium. A bivalent metallic element with many crucial biological roles. Calcium is a major constituent of the skeleton, but plays many roles in a plasma and ion as well. But this is not calcium. This is like dissolved from it or something. But chloride salt, they got this shit in there. Supposedly is good for your bones. It's salt and water. It ain't naturally in water. I don't need no juiced up water. All right, it gets worse though. Sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate.
According to Wikipedia,
sodium bicarbonate is commonly known as baking soda or bicarbonate of soda. It is a chemical compound with the formula. It's a white solid that is a crystalline and often appears as a fine powder. So there's putting crystals in here. There's another one. Magnesium sulfate. That's also in Dasani water, and that is also in the lethal injection they give to prisoners. Magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate is used for short-term relief of constipation. It is also used as a soaking solution to relieve minor sprains, bruises, aching, or discomfort. You know what the fuck this is? Epsom salt. Magnesium, if you buy Epsom salt, it will literally say magnesium sulfate. Because I had some not too long ago. Look, and then certain things you search up on Google years ago, maybe even a year ago, they changed it up. Because they know people are waking up, searching up ingredients and shit. They make it say, oh, it's harmless. You gotta really scroll down to find the real thing. Epsom salt is also known as magnesium sulfate. So yeah, it gets absorbed in your skin or whatever, but would you drink it personally? And then this thing is called Pure Life. Now this boy, on the other hand, Crystal Geyser, spring water. What ingredient they got? Where is that? Processed by ozonation. That's probably the only ingredient, the process in which they get, because they got like reverse osmosis and stuff, but that's not spring water. This is spring water. I have to research ozonation, but ain't no ingredient. It's just a natural spring water. Yeah. Oh my bad. So, oh yeah, drink your waters in glass, even though it comes from plastic, whatever. It's just good practice for when we get in the land or whatever, right? Teach our children how to be healthy. And all praises to the Most High. This video extended a little longer than I did. I really want to do like a 40-minute video. But I appreciate all you brothers online and sisters who are in the true faith, as in Yada for real said. I don't want to sound churchy, but like it's like a there's in this truth there's like a mainstream. And you always want to stay away from the mainstream, stay away from the crowds where everybody's going the direction. Look and see why they go in that direction. You know, people just in this truth just to be in it, like it's trendy. But yeah, that really irritated me. Some dude talking about like the book of Jasher is not a biblical book or whatever, but he over here got a Matthew scripture in his bio. Like, you really not credible. You feel me? I've been in this truth since 2017, reading the Bible religiously since then, but I've been reading the Bible my whole life. They made me study as a kid. The Most High raised me up and you know, books and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video. Hope you enjoyed the scripture. Hope that inspired you to read and to do some documenting of your own, because you gotta keep